sports fans? It's your boy, the sports reporter without pay. Listen, for you do anything else, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get all the latest content when I drop it. Listen, if you haven't checked it out already, go check out part 1 of my NBA midseason review. This is part 2, and we gonna jump into some awards. Let's start off with the Coach of the Year. Let's start with Billy Donovan of the Chicago Bulls. If you watched the first part of my review, I talked about me not expecting the Chicago Bulls to be this good, this fast. You get all of these new pieces. You have to figure out a way to make it work. And here we are midway through the season. The Chicago Bulls are sitting atop the Eastern Conference. Billy Donovan has to get his share of credit. I got him sitting at number 3 on my ballot. At number 2, I have Taylor Jenkins of the Memphis Grizzlies. Like I said in the first part, for the Memphis Grizzlies to be playing at the level they are, and the most impressive thing about their season so far is they were able to win a lot of basketball games without their superstar. That is coaching right there. You got those guys clicking on all cylinders. They're playing at a high level. They're competing every night. They play hard. They play together. I got Taylor Jenkins sitting at number 2, but the runaway favorite for Coach of the Year has to be JB Bickerstaff. It has to be, right? It has to be. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who saw this coming? They're sitting right there within 2 games of first place in the East. They have the number 2 defense in points allowed in the NBA, and they're doing it in their way. So many coaches try to fit a square peg into a round hole. Ain't that what they call it? Like, you get personnel and you try and make it work a certain way because the rest of the NBA is. Everybody else went small. JB Bickerstaff is looking at his personnel saying, okay, we're going to play big. We're going to go out here with every night with 3 7-footers. Has the possible Rookie of the Year in Evan Mobley. Jared Allen is playing like an all-star. Darius Garland is balling. Lauri Markkanen is playing well. Shout out to that team. JB Bickerstaff is my front runner for Coach of the Year. Now we segue into Most Improved Player, and we're going to stay in Cleveland with number 3 on my ballot, Jared Allen. This is one of those guys, kind of like Julius Randle, where he was putting up good numbers, but it was on a bad team. Jared Allen always has put up okay to solid numbers. He was always a lower tier double-double guy, but now he's doing it on a team where he's looking like he might be the second best player on a mid-tier playoff team. Guy getting 17 points and 12 rebounds a game and playing A1 defense. Jared Allen, number 3 on my ballot for Most Improved Player. Number 2, nobody would even pay attention to it because, again, they're not winning. But DeJounte Murray is having himself a season. 19 points per game, almost 9 assists a game, and 8 rebounds a game, and leading the league in steals. DeJounte Murray is flat out balling, but San Antonio is off the radar because they're not winning games, so you don't really hear about it. But pay attention. DeJounte Murray is absolutely balling. But number 1 on my ballot, and he's probably going to win the award, Miles Bridges is hooping. Went from 12 points per game last year to 28 game, out here just dropping buckets on people. Came into the league as more of like a jumper, an athletic guy that can, put you on a poster. But now he's handling the ball, he's shooting threes, he's doing some of everything, and he's looking good while doing it. And the Charlotte Hornets are winning basketball games. Number 1 Most Improved Player, Miles Bridges. But Sports Reporter Without Pay, what about Tyler Hero? Don't you worry about that, because Tyler Hero is the clear runaway for 6th Man of the Year. He's going to win it. No need to talk about it anymore. He is the best 6th man in the NBA. Should be a starter. Could be a starter on most teams. But since he's coming off the bench in Miami, he is the clear favorite and runaway leader of 6th Man of the Year. No need to talk about it anymore. Defensive Player of the Year. This is one of those weird awards. It's like, who do you really get this award to? The NBA normally gives it to some big guy who blocks shots and rebounds well, like Rudy Gobert. He gets it every year, but he's not a really good defender. So we going to look at our ballot, and I only have 2 people. Number 2 on my ballot, again, is Jared Allen. He is anchoring the number 2 defense in the NBA, and those guys are winning basketball games, and he's playing at an extremely high level. He's the big guy that's rebounding and blocking shots, but again, he's anchoring the number 2 defense in the NBA. Shout out to Jared Allen. Number 1 on my ballot is Draymond Green, and it's really not close. If you look at the Golden State Warriors, how they play with him in the lineup and how they play without him in the lineup, it's like night and day. He's reverted back to his 2015, 2016 ways, where he was playing defense, where he was playing with that intensity and that passion, where he was anchoring that side of the ball and guarding players bigger than him. Like, Golden State goes out a lot of nights and they're playing undersized, and you can't even tell because Draymond Green is 6'7", but he plays at 7 feet. Right now, again, if it was my ballot, Draymond Green would be the unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. And the last and most toughest award to call right now is the NBA MVP. There are so many guys with a case, and every guy that has a case, there's a flaw in his resume too. You can look at Steph Curry and say, man, the Golden State Warriors didn't expect him to be this good. No Clay. And again, they're sitting at for most of the first half of the season with the best record in the league or going back and forth with Phoenix. But then Steph Curry goes into a shooting slump and he's shooting the lowest percentage of his career. So there's his plus, there's his negative. You look at Giannis Antetokounmpo still, he's putting up numbers so great that we're just getting accustomed to it. Kind of like we did with LeBron James for years, where it's like, he makes 28, 12, and 6 look like it's just normal for him. That's not normal. Like, that's not normal for a player to go out and do that on a night in, night out basis. But then you look, Milwaukee Bucks are 4-6 in their last 10, and they can't really find their foot. And right when you think they're playing well, they start losing games again. The Chicago Bulls have 2 players putting up the exact same numbers, right? You look at DeMar DeRozan and LaVine's stats, and they literally mirror one another. A lot of people give DeRozan the credit because he's the guy that came in, but you could look at it and say, hey, all LaVine needed was some help. So those guys kind of cancel each other out, right? Then you look at Phoenix. Chris Paul's only averaging 13 points per game, but that team has the best record in the league. Devin Booker missed some games. They still didn't miss a beat without him. So those guys kind of cancel each other out, but neither one of them are having the kind of numbers that screams MVP. Nikola Jokic at one point this season had the highest PER all time in NBA history, but then the Denver Nuggets are sitting like at a 6 or 7 seed. LeBron James is playing out of his mind, but the Lakers are sitting in 8th. Joel Embiid, balling, and Philly is starting to hit their stride, right? And the only knock you could have on him so far was Philly not being amongst the top 2 or 3 teams in the East. But with the East kind of closing up, Embiid is making a strong push. KD just got hurt. So again, Ja Morant playing phenomenal at extremely high level, and this team is winning games. Knock on him is this team went 11-2 without him. How valuable are you? So it's a lot of candidates. If the Sports Reporter Outpay has to break down his ballot to just 3 people, right now my front runners are Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid. And I just want to give a disclaimer that that's strictly based on the fact that Kevin Durant is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. He did play well enough the first half of the season to be mentioned amongst these guys. But with him going out, he's going to kind of lose his footing. Joel Embiid has made a strong push. As I'm making this video, he just dropped 50 tonight. Like, Joel Embiid is making a strong push at that award. With Steph Curry shooting slump, he dropped out of my #1 spot. Greek kind of took that over. So again, we got Greek, Steph Curry, and Joel Embiid. That's my MVP ballot. That concludes part 2 of my NBA midseason review. If you haven't already, go check out part 1. Be on the lookout for part 3, where I'm going to discuss my first half All-Star starters, first half All-NBA, and I'm going to drop my power rankings for the first half of the season. It's your boy, the Sports Reporter Outpay. Appreciate you hanging out. Don't forget to like the video, jump in those comments, talk to me, I'll talk back. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be up to date with all the latest content. Till next time, it's your boy, Sports Reporter Outpay.